Are you tired of scrolling through endless job postings like it's your second unpaid job? Good, because today we're building an AI job searching automation in n8n that does all the searching for you. And we're doing it without spending a single dollar on any services or subscriptions. If you're ready to level up your job hunt without paying a cent, this automation has your back. In this video, you will learn to 1. Collects job posts using JSearch API. 2. Extracts requirements and salary info. 3. Scores each job against your skills and salary using an AI. 4. Notifies you of high probability matches and suggests skills to learn and improve to qualify for more job openings. For this workflow, I'll be using n8n, which I'm running locally because it's free, powerful, and perfect for building automations without paying for anything. We'll also be using Gmail API to send the qualified job postings directly to your inbox. Google Drive API to download our resume and allow the AI to extract our skills and qualifications. And JSearch API that provides real-time access to vast amounts of job postings and salary data from major sources like Google for Jobs, Indeed, LinkedIn, and Glassdoor. Now, if you have zero experience with automation, don't worry. I have a full beginner-friendly tutorial that walks you through building your first AI automation from scratch. No coding, no AI experience, and absolutely no programming background required. Literally all you need is a computer and an internet connection. I'll link that video in the description below. Now let's get started with building our job searching AI. First, head over to the JSearch API website and create an account to get an API key. This is the full workflow we're building today. I'll link the workflow and all the prompts below so you can follow along without manually typing everything. First, let's walk through how this workflow works. This automation starts with a scheduled trigger that runs at midnight every day. That way, when I wake up, I can open my email and immediately see job postings that match my skills and my expected salary. Next, the workflow pulls my resume directly from Google Drive using the Google Drive API and lets the AI extract all the important details, like my skills, experience, and qualifications. After that, we call the JSearch API to fetch job listings based on our search criteria. Once we have the jobs, the AI compares each listing against my resume and salary expectations, then assigns a score based on how well it fits my profile. We then filter the results by score. If a job scores 7 or higher, it gets tagged as a good fit. If it scores lower than that, the AI summarizes why the job isn't a great match. Finally, the AI generates a clean summary email and sends everything straight to my inbox, so I can review the best opportunities without wasting time on the rest. Let's get started with a schedule trigger. We'll set the trigger interval to days, so it runs every day and the trigger at hour to midnight. Next up, let's go ahead and add the Google Drive node so we can download our resume. Search for Drive, then select Google Drive and choose Download File. Select your credentials. If you haven't set yours up yet, don't worry. I have a video that will guide you through the process of setting up these credentials. You can find the link to that video in the description down below. Now let's set up this node to download our resume. In the File dropdown, select URL. Next, let's copy the URL of our resume from Google Drive and paste it into the text box next to the dropdown. Now let's test this node to see if it works. Next, let's convert this file into text using the Extract from File node. Make sure the operation is set to Extract from PDF. Then let's test this one too. Next, let's add the AI agent that will extract all the information we'll use later to match it to a job listing. In the dropdown, select Define below, then drag the text field from the Extract from File into the prompt field. Click Add option, then select System Prompt. Click Expression, then click the Expand icon to give us more space for our system prompt. I've already prepared all the prompts, so I'll just paste them here. Don't worry, those prompts can also be found in the description below, so you won't have to type them manually since some of them are quite long. Let's add a chat model. You can choose whichever model you like, but in this video, I'll be using OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini. Let's run the workflow to see if everything is working properly. Now, let's add an Edit Fields node. This is where we'll set our expected salary and include the information extracted from our resume. Later on, we'll pass all of this to another AI agent, which will match it against job listings. Next, we'll add an HTTP node. This is what we'll use to call the JSearch API and fetch job listings. This is the URL we'll use to fetch data from the API. Enable send query parameters. Then, in the name field, type query, and in the value field, add the job description you want to target. Add another parameter for the number of pages. One page equals 10 job results, so this determines how many listings the API will return. For this example, we'll set it to 10 pages. Next, turn on Send Headers. In the name field, type X API Key, and in the value field, enter your JSearch API Key. Let's test it and see if our API is working. Now everything looks like it's working as expected. Next, we'll move on to creating the agent that will match our skills and expected salary with the job listings requirements and qualifications. First, we need to break down those job listings we received from the API into a list. This way, our agent can easily go through them and find the ones that match our skills. Let's add a split out node. In the Fields to Split Out section, go ahead and type Data. Since we're still testing and building our workflow, I'll add a limit node. This way, our agent won't have to go through all those job listings. Now let's add a loop over items node. Let's keep the batch size value set to 1. Let's go ahead and delete the Replace Me node. Now in the loop output, let's go ahead and add an AI agent. Let's name this agent Job Matcher. In the Source for Prompt field, select Define Below, and then let's add a system message. Once again, you can find this prompt in the video description below. Remove the values for the resume, expected salary, and job listing sections for now. Then we'll execute the previous nodes to properly retrieve these values. Let's add our chat model first. Next, let's click the Play button above the Loop Over Items node to execute all the previous nodes up to this point. While it's executing, I'll take a moment to fix the layout of our nodes so that the workflow looks much better and is easier to follow. Now, let's update the system prompt and add the values for the resume, salary, and job listings. On the left side, expand the Edit Fields section and then drag the expected salary field and the resume into their respective sections in our prompt. For the job listing section, just copy exactly what I'm typing. Our system prompt for our job match agent is now complete. Now, for this agent, we want the output to be in a specific format. This way, we can easily filter for the jobs that interest us and that match our skills and expected salary. Let's enable the Require Specific Output Format option. Next, in our agent, click the Output Parser Add button and select Structured Output Parser. In the Schema Type dropdown, select Define using JSON schema. In the Input Schema box, add this JSON format. You can also find this format at the bottom of our system prompt. Now let's test our agent. It looks like we have an error. Let's quickly fix it. Open our agent and in the prompt field, just select Expression. That should resolve the issue. Let's test it again to see if everything is working properly. Next, we need to add a wait node to introduce a delay between the processing of our job listing. This way, we won't hit the request per minute limit with OpenAI, especially if we're using a free tier account. Now, let's connect the wait node to the loop over items node. This will allow us to iterate to the next job listing once the previous one is completed. Then, let's add a merge node in the done path of our loop over items node. This will allow us to combine all the outputs from our agent. Let's test the whole workflow again. Let's take a look at the output of our workflow so far. As you can see, we have a consistent format. We can also see that there's a match score and a match reason, which explains why this job listing is a good fit for us. Now let's go ahead and add another loop over items node. The reason for this is that we want our next AI agent to process and compose the emails in batches. Just think about it. If we have 1,000 job listings to handle, that's an enormous amount of data. We could easily run into some limits or potentially face timeouts. So processing this in smaller batches will help us keep things running smoothly. Now, let's add an if node to filter for the match score we're interested in. First, we need to execute the previous nodes to ensure we have the right data. Let's update our if node. Drag the match score field into the value 1 field and change the condition to greater than or equal to. For value 2, let's use 7. Of course, you can set your own preference, but I'll stick with 7 for now. Let's rename this node to if match score greater than or equal to 7. Let's execute this node so we can take a look at the output and see what the true branch and false branch look like. As you can see, all the scores that are greater than or equal to 7 are in the true branch, while the lower scores are in the false branch. We're so close to finishing this workflow. If you're enjoying this kind of content, consider subscribing, liking, or commenting on this video. It really helps the channel and motivates me to create more content like this. Now, in the true branch, let's add an aggregate node. This combines all the items in the list into a single field, making it easier to pass that information to our next AI agent. This agent will then create a formatted email containing all the job listings that pass our match score filter. In the aggregate dropdown, select all item data. Next, add our AI agent that will take care of creating and formatting the emails for us. Let's run the previous node again to gather the data we need to send to our agent. In the prompt, just copy what I have. It converts the structured JSON object into a string or text so that our agent can read this data. Let's add the system prompt. Basically, this prompt instructs the agent to apply the specific styling defined within it and to avoid doing anything with the data we passed apart from formatting it. Let's add another aggregate node for the job listings that didn't meet our criteria. Now, let's add our final AI agent, which will summarize why a job doesn't fit our requirements and suggest the skills we might want to learn or improve. We need to update our aggregate node for the false branch, since we only want to capture the reasons why these job listings isn't a good fit for us. We'll extract just the match reasons field, which will save time because the agent will only need to process that specific field instead of the entire list. Let's update our AI agent and pass the reasons field into the prompt. Then let's add the system prompt. Next, we need to merge the outputs of these two AI agents using a merge node. Then, let's add one last aggregate node to separate the results of the merge node. The reason we added a merge node before this one is to ensure that the last two AI agents have completed their tasks before executing the following nodes. Let's add the Gmail send a message node. In the to field, add your email address or the email address where you want this job listing to be sent. Next, in the subject field, add any subject title you prefer. I'll go with jobs matching your skills. We need to execute the previous node so we can input the data into the message field. We've encountered a request timeout error with our AI agent that's formatting our email. To fix this, let's open the chat model of that AI agent node, then click Add option and select Timeout. In the field, enter 480,000, which translates to 8 minutes. Since this AI agent is processing a considerable amount of data, we want to give it more time to handle everything. Let's execute the workflow up to the last aggregate node. Now that everything is working, let's open the Gmail node and update the message field value. Drag the two output fields into the box. Next, let's add a line break element between them to create some space for the Jobs Matches section and the Areas for Improvement section. Lastly, we need to add a final wait node to give the LLM some time before processing the next batch, helping us avoid hitting any limits. Let's not forget to connect this to the Loop Over Items node. Now it's the moment of truth. Let's test the entire workflow. Now, let's check our email and see the results. As you can see, we have a perfectly formatted email of job listings, complete with scores indicating how well they fit us. Plus, there's a top match badge if the score is 10. If we scroll down, we'll see the section for areas of improvement. In this result, we have some not-so-great data because we haven't removed the limit node from our workflow yet. As a result, there are only a few job listings that didn't match our criteria. However, if we remove that node, we're sure to see better results. And there we go, guys. We've just completed an amazing multi-agent workflow that takes care of job searching for us. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment. Your support means a lot and really motivates me to create more videos like this.